Hey there, this is Neil Napier from Kyview Lab, and in this video I wanted to walk through for you exactly how we are creating our privacy policy and cookie policy and how you can do the same as well. So just to show you what we have at the moment is this page. So on this page you will see that we have a really comprehensive privacy policy. Now you do have to understand that we have a lot of customers that use a lot of different tools within our platform. So some might use active campaign, some might use constant contact, some might use get response, and so on and so forth. So we've tried to create a privacy policy that's as comprehensive as it can be. And this is something that we'll keep on improving and adding to as we integrate with more and more tools, and as it becomes possible to bring these information in as well into the privacy policy. So we're using a tool called ibuenda for this. The name's really funny, I will admit that, but this is perhaps the most plug-and-play solution I've found online. There are checklists available. Someone was talking about, let me show you this. This is one that launched on AppSumo a few days ago, GDPR tracker, which, sounds pretty good. I think the prices are pretty much inflated. They should nowhere near be what they are right now. But I can tell you that, look at them. They're clearly going with the fear effect. There's a timer there. You got to buy now. So don't like the marketing, especially because it's kind of aggressive, right? But anyway, they have, if I go into features and show you this, they have what they call privacy policy and notices. So they give you guidance on the required privacy policy notices. They say something like copy pasting, and you can just edit out a few details and it's yours. Now, if you know one thing about GDPR, it's that copy pasting will not work anymore. What I have applies to me in my business might not be completely relevant in your business, which is why ideally you want something which is not copy paste, but it's still templatized. And that's why I'm using ibuenda. There's no affiliate link for this. I mean, you can do your own due diligence, you can figure out what works for you, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to use this platform to generate your own privacy policy. And please do understand, even if you're using Kyview, for example, if you're building out pages or membership sites, even if we have a privacy policy, you still need to have your own as well. I'm not a lawyer, just so you know. That's my disclaimer. So whatever I'm advising you is based on all the research that I have done. You're welcome to do your own research as well and figure out what is relevant for you and what isn't. But this is how I'm creating privacy policies. So when you click on start generating, and this is, okay, before I do that, let me show you the pricing, because I know that's an important thing as well. So they have, let's go into update your plan. All right, so they have a policy of, if you want 5 Pro licenses, it's $9 a month. If you want 15, 25, 25, 39, and so on. If you want to go for yearly, you have that option as well. So then there's the cookie option, which is depending on how much traffic you're getting, you have the number of views as well. So for example, in our current plan, we get both of these because I got the 5 Pro license, so I should be able to get this as well. But in your case, you can either go for this option, or if you want yearly, you can go for the $99 per year option. Now, if you only have one site, you can pay $27 a year for this as well. So if you only have one site, it is completely fine to use the $27 a year option, which you don't see here because I've already bought in. But I think for me, 5 licenses work quite well at $9 a month. Now, I do want to warn you that some of you might think, oh, monthly, no, not another monthly cost. This is one of those things. When it comes to compliance, when it comes to insurance, you really need something recurring, because then you have trust that this company will continue to service you. This company will continue to update their terms as well, so you can get the latest terms as well. If you go for a one-time option, what's going to happen is you're going to do this work all over again next year when this privacy policy goes into another country, and again, and again, and again. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be in a position where you are doing this work over and over again. So that's why, to me, it is much, much more beneficial to pay $99 a year and cover 5 of my sites rather than try and pay $49 one-time fee and then pay again next year and then pay again next year and then next year, because they just don't update the documents anymore. So that's my take on it. but let's go in and show you how this works. So when I want to generate my own cookie policy, I've got an option to generate one for website, mobile app, or Facebook app. So I'm going to pick one of our websites here. Let's go for kvsocial.com. You can pick a default language. They don't have too many languages, but they have enough to get started with. So I'll of course choose English because that's relevant to me, and then I'll click on start generating. Even Facebook apps need privacy policy, by the way, in case you didn't know. Not for GDPR, just generally. So there are 3 different things that they offer: privacy and cookie policy, cookie solution, and consent solution. So I'll let you read all of this, but privacy and cookie policy is something you need more or less on every page to, on the footer of all of your pages on your website, to show people that how you're processing the data, especially with the GDPR. Now, if you have the EU users, or if you operate in the EU, you need to comply with the cookie law as well, which used to only exist in Canada for a while. I mean, EU as well, but it wasn't as enforceable. But now it is, starting 25th of May. Then you've got the consent solution as well, where you can store all user preferences and retrieve them and store proof of consent as well. So this is quite important too. On our part, we do as much as we can with Kyvio, but again, it wouldn't hurt you to have this for yourself as well. So you can just click on activating this now or generating a cookie solution. I'm going to go ahead and generate a privacy policy. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right. So when I start with that, I can watch this guide, which is not too long. I would recommend doing that as well. But when I start with that, I need to add services. So services are things that you use. For example, Facebook ads, Facebook retargeting, Google Analytics, maybe you use GetResponse, JVZoo, Aweber, whatever, all these different things. So let's say we were talking about Google, right? They've got some most frequently used options here. So contact form is one. When I pick this, I have to choose what details am I collecting. So maybe I'm collecting email address, maybe I'm also collecting first name, maybe I'm also collecting city. In that case, I need to select all these changes in, right? Then let's go for Facebook account access. Maybe my app gives them some kind of access. What kind of details am I collecting there? I need to put those in as well. Let's go with that for now. And again, this is just random. I'm not collecting all of this. Then there's Google Analytics, there's LinkedIn button, Pinterest button, these sorts of things. If you're backing up maybe their data on Google Drive, you need to select this as well. If you are then using Google AdSense, you need to select this as well. They have a free solution too, by the way, but a lot of the important ones are available on Pro. So there's a freemium plan available as well if you want, but if you are going for it, I would recommend going for Pro. So I can then go through, let's say, all of these. Let me just turn this away. Okay, so we have a contact form, which we already added. Then it usually does show added, but I don't know why it doesn't now. Okay. Then if you're collecting phone number as well, yes. If you have, let's say, if you're doing commenting, yes, we're doing Facebook and Discuss commenting and so on. If I go for data transfer outside the EU, this is a little bit more specific. This would apply to you if you are a non-EU company or if you have data that you're taking away from EU into US hosting accounts, which is a privacy shield. You know, that's something that some of you might know. There's a privacy shield logo, and this takes care of that. So if you're transferring data abroad, you basically check these boxes. Okay. Then we've got some analytics solutions as well. So if you're collecting data via AdExpresso, you can do that. Click that. And then let me just scroll down. Let's say you're also using Facebook ads conversion tracking, which some of you might be, yes. If you're using heap analytics, yes. So you just pick all these different options one by one. It is a little bit time consuming, but the good thing is updating in future is easy. Okay, once you're ready with it, just click on save and close, and you can choose multiple languages as well. I'm not going to because I'm running out of licenses, but you can choose multiple languages. There's something about adding services too. I haven't used this myself, so if you want to, just go ahead and research what they do. Now, I really hope my data hasn't vanished because that is terrible UI. Okay, I've never cursed on a video, but I might have to now. God, okay, well, that sucks. Oh no, wait, they do have my data. They do have my data. Let's see. Okay, well, just terrible UI, but it still works. So once I'm happy with it, I'm going to click next. Okay, then I need to put my name and full address, so I'm just going to put mine in. I don't remember my full company address right now, but let me put that down. And an email as well, so neil@kaivio.com. And that's it. This is the website owner and contact information. This is important as well. And you can have different one for different languages if that's what you want, if you're using different languages. So this is my privacy policy. It's been generated. It's quite tiny actually compared to everything else, because if I look at this one, it is really, really big because we have over 50 different services in here. Now, the good thing for me with this is, imagine if I had to type all of this up. Imagine if I had to collect it from 10 different places and I wouldn't even know if they're legally compliant, right? I mean, someone just recommended that you can just go to Facebook and grab, not Facebook rather, you can go to Google, search for privacy policies and just grab stuff from there. No, I mean, that will not work. You need something more concrete. You need something that is suitable for your business. And ibuenda helps me do just that. Once I'm happy with this, I can just take the embed code. It's a regular iframing. I just have to put it on my website on a page, and that's it. It's done. Like if you look at this as well, there we go. You can see that this has been iframed. At the bottom, it will have ibuenda's link. I can remove that as well if I want to, but I'll leave this in for now. So you can have that in place as well. Once you're happy with all of this, you can generate your cookie solution, your consent solution, and other things too. That's entirely up to you. But we found some free solutions online as well for cookie and consent, which I think is good enough. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment box. And I know someone asked me, how does this apply to me? I don't live in the US. I don't live in the EU. If you are collecting anyone's data, or if you have EU customers or EU prospects, you have their email address, their name, IP address, whatever, you are responsible. And let me say this, long term, this is going to permeate into other countries as well, most likely, once EU has kind of, done everything properly, because there's a lot of confusion right now. But once everything is in place, it is likely that a lot of other countries will accept it as well, especially because of, what happened with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. And let me also say this, I've heard a few people say this. They say, fuck the EU, right? It's terrible, but that's what they say. But they say, I live in the US, this doesn't apply to me. They can't come and sue me. Maybe they can't. Maybe the government or, whatever officials in Belgium can't come to you in Texas and sue you for not having GDPR compliant pages. But they can contact your hosting and they can ask your hosting to turn off your account because you're not compliant. That is possible. They can contact GetResponse and they can say, hey, if your user is not compliant, turn off their access. Remember, Google, Facebook, every big company is becoming compliant, which means they would want all the people under those companies to be compliant as well. And if you're not, Belgium might not come after you. EU might not come after you if you live somewhere else, in South America, in US, and in Thailand. But they will go after the companies that you use, and those companies will ban you. So that's a very likely scenario. You're not shielded from this. That's the key thing to understand here. GDPR impacts on everyone. Sooner or later, if you're not compliant, you will pay the price for it. Most likely not immediately. Like I said, even from EU's perspective, what they say is that 25th May is not a deadline, it's a day of beginning. That's when you start taking privacy rules and regulations to heart. That's when it becomes more of an actual design in your development rather than an afterthought. So yeah, that's it from my side. If you have any questions, like I said, in the comments below, I'm not a lawyer. This is what I figured out myself. I'm sure there's more to this, and as we go along, we'll figure it out. I want you to join me on my YouTube channel, on the Facebook video, and make sure that we can crack this one together. All right? Thanks.